The drama surrounding Gervonta "Tank" Davis has never been subtle, but this time it's something else entirely. In a sport built on respect, tradition, and the pursuit of legacy, boxing now finds itself staring at a collision between two different worlds: the seasoned champion and the modern spectacle. One embodies the purity of the craft, the other the raw reach of celebrity. And as Tank Davis pushes his body and mind to the limit in preparation for his exhibition fight with Jake Paul, the boxing world can't help but hold its breath. Because somewhere in that Las Vegas gym, amid the sweat, the rhythm of leather striking pads, and the echo of his coach's voices, a storm is quietly building. Inside Tank's camp, the intensity is palpable. Every session is a test of will. Nonstop sparring rounds, explosive combinations, relentless conditioning drills. The air is thick with focus. Each punch he throws carries more than just physical intent.
It's a message.
This isn't about headlines or clicks. This is about proving that real boxing still lives. That years of discipline, pain, and repetition mean something in an era that sometimes forgets what the sport once stood for. Tank moves with purpose, his eyes fixed, his demeanor calm yet lethal. He's not just preparing to fight Jake Paul. He's preparing to remind the world what separates a fighter from a showman. Showbiz the Adult, one of the sport's more outspoken analysts, captured the sentiment perfectly. Jake Paul, he warned, may have just made the biggest mistake of his career. Tank Davis isn't Anderson Silva. He isn't Nate Diaz. He isn't a faded name cashing in on one last payday. He's an active elite world champion, a man who's made a career dismantling bigger, stronger opponents like Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios with surgical precision. Tank has proven that he doesn't just hit hard, he adapts, studies, and executes. And against Jake Paul, those instincts could spell disaster for anyone relying solely on size and swagger. But that's exactly what makes this fight fascinating. Jake Paul isn't just another YouTuber swinging wildly in a ring. Over the years, he's evolved into a legitimate, if unconventional, fighter. He's faced real opposition, taken real punches, and delivered real knockouts. His confidence, at times bordering on arrogance, has been backed by steady improvement. But the difference now is simple. He's stepping in with someone who lives, breathes, and dreams boxing. Tank Davis isn't learning the sport. He is the sport. Still, some voices in the boxing community remain cautious. They argue that Tank might be venturing into dangerous territory. Jake's natural size, his 200-pound frame, and his strength could pose real problems. Tank, after all, fights at lightweight, 135 pounds. And while his speed and power have conquered that division, weight classes exist for a reason. Crossing those boundaries means stepping into physics itself. The difference between the two men isn't just about height or muscle, it's about force, mass, impact. Even the most precise punch can lose its sting when facing a man built to absorb twice the damage. As one analyst reminded fans, even Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest technicians in boxing history, couldn't stop Conor McGregor, a much larger opponent, despite hitting him at will. That extra 30 or 40 pounds matters, and when Tank enters the ring with Jake Paul, he'll be fighting against more than a man. He'll be fighting against nature. And yet, the energy around Tank suggests he doesn't care about any of that. Watch him at the press conferences. Calm, composed, silent, but deadly. He doesn't need to shout to command attention. He sits still, listening, studying. Every insult from Jake rolls off him like rain on steel. When Jake smirks, Tank just stares. It's not disinterest. It's control. Because for Tank, the noise doesn't matter. The memes, the trash talk, the money, they're all distractions. In his eyes, boxing remains sacred. He's here to show the difference between those who perform and those who belong. At one point, Jake boasted that he was Tank's boss, that he was paying him, that Tank should be grateful for the opportunity. Tank just smiled, but his silence said everything. You could feel it in the air. That simmering, cold fury of a man who knows that the only language that matters is what happens when the bell rings. But beyond the hype, the fight carries deeper implications. Boxing has always been a theater of pride and punishment, but in recent years, spectacle has started to overshadow sport. Influencers, celebrities, and crossover events have blurred the line between competition and entertainment. Many fans, even lifelong ones, admit they'll tune in to watch, not out of admiration, but out of curiosity. It's that same morbid fascination people feel when they slow down to look at a car crash. You don't want to see it, but you can't look away. This fight is exactly that. A dangerous mix of curiosity and anticipation, wrapped in millions of dollars in viral potential. Teddy Atlas, one of boxing's most respected minds, sees the matchup as a strange mirror of the past, a reminder of the night Floyd Mayweather faced Logan Paul. That event, while criticized, was a turning point. It showed that boxing was no longer just about belts or rankings, it was about attention. Atlas believes Jake Paul will quickly realize what it truly means to share a ring with someone like Gervonta Davis. He described Tank as a fighter who can make you pay for every mistake, someone who combines timing, power, and instinct into something terrifyingly efficient. To Atlas, the outcome depends not on Jake's reach or youth, but on the oldest truth in the sport: experience wins fights. Then there's Luke Thomas, who noticed something new in Tank's demeanor. For years, Davis has been known for his aggression, his intensity, and his knockouts. But in this camp, something feels different. He's quieter, more introspective. It's not nervousness, it's purpose. Thomas believes Tank understands the weight of what this fight represents. It's no longer just about personal glory. It's about legacy, about defending the identity of boxing itself. This isn't simply Tank versus Jake. It's boxing versus entertainment. And for Tank, losing isn't an option, not just for his career, but for the message it would send. Still, the mental game looms large. Tank has hinted in past interviews about burnout, about wondering how much longer he wants to keep doing this. After years of success, personal battles, and public scrutiny, even a fighter as ferocious as Davis has shown flashes of vulnerability. Some critics suggest he's at a crossroads, a point where focus must overpower fatigue. Whether this exhibition rekindles his hunger or drains it further could define not just this fight, but the next phase of his career. Meanwhile, the spectacle grows. Promoter Nakisa Badarian confirmed that both fighters will use 10-ounce gloves, smaller, faster, and more dangerous. The decision sent waves through the boxing community. For Jake Paul, the gloves mean risk. For Tank, they mean opportunity. Less padding, more speed, more chance for his explosive power to break through. Yet the rules also reveal how carefully crafted this fight really is. Balanced just enough to make it seem fair, but dangerous enough to keep audiences glued to their screens. It will be officially an exhibition. No records will be affected. 3 judges will score it, but no official belt will change hands. In the state of Florida, where the bout takes place, the legal definition of an exhibition emphasizes that participants display their skills without necessarily striving to win. On paper, that sounds civilized. In reality, anyone who's watched Gervonta Davis fight knows there's nothing performative about the way he throws his hands. If Jake Paul thinks this will be another friendly spar with cameras, he's in for a painful surprise. But beyond the rules, beyond the business, there's something almost poetic about this matchup. It's a reflection of what boxing has become, a crossroads between art and algorithm, between those who chase greatness and those who chase views. Jake Paul represents the evolution of fame, someone who turned influence into opportunity, who used controversy as currency. Gervonta Davis represents the purity of competition, a fighter forged in hardship, molded by pain and driven by legacy. Their collision isn't just a fight, it's a statement. And in the background, like clockwork, another familiar shadow appears, Floyd Mayweather. Even when the spotlight isn't his, Floyd somehow finds a way to step into the conversation. For years, he's mastered the art of relevance, knowing exactly when and how to make himself part of the narrative. His presence reminds everyone that this entire evolution of boxing, the exhibitions, the crossover spectacles, all began with him. Whether fans love or hate it, the lineage of this fight traces back to Mayweather's own show against Logan Paul. In a strange, almost poetic way, Tank and Jake are fighting inside the house that Floyd built. As fight night approaches, speculation grows louder. Some say Jake's too big. Others insist Tank's too skilled. Some predict a knockout. Others foresee a cautious exhibition. But in every conversation, one truth stands out. People care. The intrigue, the controversy, the contrast, it's all fueling one of the most anticipated matchups of the year. And when that bell rings, all the talking, all the memes, all the headlines will disappear. There will be only 2 men, 2 gloves, and one truth to be revealed. Because when Gervonta Davis steps forward, his gloves crackling like thunder, he's not just fighting Jake Paul. He's fighting for every boxer who ever spent years in the gym, while others gained fame overnight. He's fighting for the legacy of the sport, for the purity that still exists beneath time. Continues to echo across the sport. Tom Aspinall is at home, healing and reflecting. His supporters call for patience. His critics demand proof. Cyril Gane is waiting for a rematch that could redeem his name or ruin it again. Umar Nurmagomedov is chasing revenge. Islam Makhachev is balancing pressure and preparation. And Ilya Topuria, ever the showman, is reminding everyone that fighting is only part of the story. UFC 321 may have ended with boos, but its aftershocks are shaping the future of multiple divisions. And for fans, it's a reminder of why they keep watching, because in this sport, anything can happen. One moment you're on top of the world, the next you're fighting to explain yourself from a hospital bed. If you enjoyed this breakdown of all the chaos surrounding UFC 321 and beyond, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Tom Aspinall was right to stop the fight? Should the rematch with Cyril Gane happen right away? And can Umar Nurmagomedov and Islam Makhachev reclaim their dominance in 2025? Let's hear what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that go beyond the cage, where every fight is more than just a fight. It's a story of pain, pride, and redemption.